Hello and welcome everybody to another Edge of Eternities draft. I'm Paul Cheon and the rankings have officially reset. So we have wiped the slate clean. We had a trophy in the last video and I'm hoping to turn things around with kind of the slow-ish start that I've had to the season. I think I'm starting to figure some things out. I did shout out to Limited Level Ups. I did listen to you, Alex, about the speed of the format. And despite what Wizards may have said about the format being on the slower end, this format does seem to be a little bit quicker. So let's try to make sure we prioritize playing to the board a little more in this draft. Now, before we head into this draft, I just wanted to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all your Match the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. If you want to buy some booster boxes of Edge of Eternities, or you wanted some singles for your standard, modern, or pioneer decks, TCGplayer.com is the place to go. Make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Also, check out heavyplay.com for premium Match the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, live pads, everything you need to make sure you're fully ready to go for your next tabletop gaming experience, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Alrighty. What do we want to do? Loading zone. If one or more counters we put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet you control, twice that many are put in instead. I think it's just probably a little bit too situational. I don't think this is the type of card that I want to first pick. Again, just prioritizing trying to win games here if possible. Cerebral Download is an okay card draw spell for the artifact staff. Uthro Scanship is also just an okay spacecraft. But for me, it's between the Eumidian Terra Botanist and Siege Ship Agrarian. You know, I do think the Eumidian Terra Botanist is very good, but I also think the Agrarian is among the better uncommons in the set. It just gives you a ton of value, right? Just 4 mana for a 3/3. If you ever play a land, it gets bigger, and then whenever it becomes tapped, you get a lander token, which works really, really well with if you are able to get a couple of spacecrafts into your deck. Pack 1, pick 2. Gives us Rescue Skiff, which is okay, but there's also a Close Encounter and a Diplomatic Relations, and I'm going to take the Close Encounter here just because it's a 2-mana spell, as opposed to the Relations, which, obviously gives you a little more stats, but I think 2 mana versus 3 mana, I'm just going to take the 2-mana card here. All right, moving on, Pack 1, pick 3, we have Tenuk, Memorial Ensign, and we have Dockworker Drone, and then we also have Orbital Plunge and Blooming Stinger. I do like Tenuk a fair amount, but I don't know, Orbital Plunge might just be better. These are all pretty good cards. But do I want to just start with the 2 4-drops? I'm not sure. It's a really good removal spell. I'm gonna take the Orbital Plunge, and the reason why is I think the Tenuk might be a little bit better in red-green, but Orbital Plunge is a highly splashable removal spell, whereas Tenuk is less splashable. So if I do end up with let's say a green-black deck splashing red, then the Plunge is something that I'd much rather play, whereas with the Tenuk, you have to kind of be red-green. Pack 1, pick 4 gives us Banishing Light, Bombard, Memorial Vault, Close Encounters, and a Mouth of the Storm as options. And I'm just going to take another Close Encounter here, try to cut off green. I think the Close Encounter is straight up a better card than the Bombard. Mouth of the Storm is a really, really good card as well that I can consider splashing, but I'm going to start with the cheap interaction here first before moving into the top end of my mana curve. Pack 1, pick 5 gives us Caveron. This card's really solid, right? Sack a land, make a 2/2 artifact token. It does have a station cost of 12. And I do have a Siege Ship Agrarian, and it's a card I actually want to try. And this could be an indication that red's open. I actually don't mind Thawbringer as well. But let's take the Caveron here, just to have as a nice land that also acts as something that gives me kind of some inevitability in the late game. I don't think it's busted, but I do think it's a very, very solid card. Pack 1, pick 6 gives us Territorial Bruntar, which is a fantastic payoff in the just top-end card in the Gruul decks. Umbral Caller Zealot's okay. Cryo Shatter is also pretty solid. And, this pack is just overall very strong. Biosynthetic Burst is a decent combat trick, and Germinating Worm's okay too. But let's take the Bruntar here as a nice top-end card. Here we have the option between Fungal Colossus and Pinnacle Killship. I already have a 6-drop here. I'm going to just take the Fungal Colossus in case there's a world that I end up splashing for, you know, just a third color. This card will get better. For example, Rescue Skiff is a decent card to potentially splash for. Although I wonder if the Wormwheel Sweeper is actually just better. Maybe. Maybe I just want to play to the board a little bit more. There's also Sky Stinger. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm just going to take Sky Stinger just because it's a fine fine creature to play on curve. Here, I'll take a Lost in Space. Does feel like blue might potentially be open here. And if it is, we can certainly be happy with what's going to happen. Here, I don't think this is quite a nutrient block deck. That's really more for the red-blue deck. So I'm going to take another Colossus here in case we just end up drafting a bunch of colors. Very happy with the Blooming Stinger there pretty late. Survey Mechan I'm probably not going to play. And, alright, we have an okay start here. Alright, this is where things are going to start. I'm going to start changing my strategy up here. So I previously thought the greenhouse was really strong, and now that I'm looking at it, the win rate on the card is actually surprisingly low. And so I think I'm going to try my best to focus more on creatures to fill out my curve. So I'm going to take Thawbringer here, actually, because I feel like my interaction is already okay, and I want the Thawbringer just to have, you know, first picking this is by no means something that I love doing, but I'm just doing this just to try to have a more well-rounded curve here for my deck. All right, pack 2, pick 2, however, gives us Germinating Worm, Vault Guard Trooper, Weapons Manufacturing. Whenever non-token you control enters. Okay, don't think I love that card very much. So I think, do I want to take something like a Sea Chip Impact, Trooper, or Germinating Worm for my red-green deck, or potentially splash the white for the Banishing Light? You know, I actually really like this disenchant effect, and I do think there's a lot of good creatures worthy of disenchanting. So let's go ahead and take the Sea Chip Impact here and move on. Pack 2, pick 3 gives us Oreplate Pangolin, Sammy's Curiosity, Bombard, and Debris Field Crusher as options. Noting that there is a Station Monitor in the pack, but of course we're very far away from that. I mean, given that I have the Agrarian, like, I don't love Debris Field Crusher. I don't have enough artifacts here for the Pangolin. I could also just take Bombard. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to take Bombard here. Let's just take another solid removal spell and move on. We have a Stirring Wildwood here. If I was splashing white, I would consider it, but very, very happy just taking a Tanic here, just for the mana curve here. And wow, another pick between Tanic and Territorial Bruntar. There's also Germinating Worm and Orbital Plunge. So we have this pick again, but now we're locked into red-green, so I do think it's more likely that I want a Tanic here. There's also a Secluded Starforge. Honestly, I mean, this spell land is just so... I mean, this is just a free land that makes a 2/2 every turn. I think I'm just going to have enough playable, so let's take the land here, just to make sure we have things to do in the late game. We'll take another Orbital Plunge, just because I think it's a premium removal spell, and move on. Pack 2, pick 7. Not a whole lot here. I guess I'll take a Wormwheel Sweeper, although probably don't really want to take that. Pack 2, pick 8. We have Biosynthetic Burst, but I think I have enough spells here. I'm going to take Germinating Worm. It's a fine thing to play 2 on 2 just to gain some life, and also a fine top-end win condition as well. Here there is a Nebula Dragon, which I actually don't mind as a top-end card for these red-green decks. Here there's a Vault Guard Trooper versus Caveron Turbo Drone. I guess I'll take the Trooper, but I don't really love it. And then here we have a Debris Field Crusher. So once again, I always say this to myself, but clearly our curve is not ideal again. So we're going to have to make the necessary adjustments here. Oh, Tanic, last pick. All right, well, guess what? Red-green is open. All right, we have Icetail Explorer versus Dauntless Scrapbot here. And honestly, I just don't think this card's particularly strong. I'm actually just going to take the Scrapbot. I've been very, very impressed with the Scrapbot in general. So I'm going to take that here just to make sure I have another good 3. Pack 3, pick 2. There's a Momenon, Dubious Delivery if I wanted to splash. But you know what? We need to prioritize 2-drops. Let us take the Blooming Stinger. Noting, by the way, that Death Touch doesn't actually work with Close Encounter very well. So just want all of you to know that this is not an interaction that works well, because this triggers off of the actual power of the creature. The creature doesn't do the damage, so you don't actually get to Death Touch your way into victory. Here I'll take a Zookeeper Mechan over Cut Propulsion. I do think Cut Propulsion is a very good removal spell, but I'm in the market for more good 2s. I'm going to show some restraint here and take the Mechan there. Here we have Devastating Onslaught. I don't think that's a particularly strong card. Nothing really here that I love. I mean, let me read this. Create X tokens that are copies of target artifact. So I get to make X tokens of things that I have. They all gain haste. Okay, whatever. I'm going to take it. I don't think I'm going to play it, though. Seems a little too situational. So this is what, 19 cards? We got some expensive cards here as well. Gonna take another Germinating Worm for my deck. Look, if I don't have enough 2-mana creatures, at least I have a creature that gains me a bunch of life, which can certainly also be nice here. All right, pack 3, pick 6. Look, another Blooming Stinger. Okay, we're just filling the curve. Galactic Wayfarer. I mean, I guess green was kind of open. I mean, Galactic Wayfarer is the best common in the set, it seems. So very happy picking that up. Pack 3, pick 8. We have a Memorial Team Leader. Not really interested in splashing a Siege Ship Broodtender. And, you know, I don't really want more than one Nebula Brood Dragon. So I think I'm just going to take this. Although I don't think this card is insane or anything. Especially in a red-green deck. This pack has nothing that I want. And do I want Chrome Companion? That also doesn't seem particularly strong. Here, there's a Drill Too Deep for the sideboard. Now, Drill Too Deep is like kind of at the level where I don't want to take that one. And all right, I mean, did I do an okay job with the curve here? I don't know. I probably could have done a better job, honestly. And this is something that I'm going to constantly have to work on. Let's see. Melded Moxite is certainly something that I could consider. And, you know, honestly, it's weird because this counts differently named lands. I do have a Secluded Starforge and a Caveron, so, you know, it's a non-zero, right? I feel like my curve is too high to the point where I don't want the Onslaught. I think I have random enough big green things, so I don't really need the Fungal Colossus. As far as spells goes, I don't know how much I like the Melded Moxite or the Debris Field Crusher, and then I also don't necessarily love these creatures as well. I kind of like everything else, I think. They all kind of hit pretty hard. The Field Crusher is nice because it does look like I would be okay having another interactive spell, and it works nicely with the Agrarian and the Vault Guard Trooper. So for that reason, I think I want to try that. I think I have enough 3s where I don't need the Stinger. And then it really just becomes whether or not I want the Team Leader versus Melded Moxite. Now, I don't have any way to sack the artifact, so I think maybe this is a little bit too slow. And the token that comes into play is tapped. So maybe I just play the Team Leader here and cut the Melded Moxite. Also, besides, you know, like, I mean, red-green, I kind of just want to beat down, play a bunch of things. So let's see if this works. All right, as far as colors go, it looks like it's pretty even between red and green. So I'm happy enough just playing an 8-8 split here with 2 lands that give me potential 2/2s in the late game. So hopefully that also comes into play. But I'm excited to try this deck out. I mean, nothing insane here. No crazy bombs or anything like that. But we did get a late Tannock. You saw that I did try to prioritize some 2-mana plays. Could I have taken more? Absolutely. We did table the Tannock. We got that one last pick as well. And Germinating Worm still gives me something to do on turn 2, which, you know, also turns out works really, really well with Close Encounter, because if I warp this, I have basically an uncounterable way to deal 5 damage to something. So hopefully this gives us the time that we need. We have a handful of ways to make landers, although noting that this has a little bit less than I'm used to, but I think this should still be okay. We have like 5 or 6 ways. I think that's still mostly good enough, and I think this still has what it takes, but let's see how this performs. All right, now before round 1 starts, just wanted to say that if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in a different way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That is patreon.com/paulcheon. Special shout out to all the patrons here. Really do appreciate all your support. Access to the Patreon gives you access to my Discord channel, which I believe is a really great way to join an awesome community of folks who also want to up their limited game. All right, opponent on the play here. I'm going to keep this. I have 3 lands, Bombard, Close Encounter, Agrarian, and the Germinating Worm. So I actually do have the hand here with the Germinating Worm with Close Encounter. So I will have access to some pretty good interaction here, which is nice. Although our opponent did play a 2-drop, so that obviously hurts. And then now I have the option to not only play Bombard, but I also have the close encounter here. So if I kind of... The hope here is to try to survive and not take too much damage, and I'll have some good removal spells available. Don't play a 2-drop here. Oh my gosh, they went turn 2 Dockworker Drone into Honor into Sunstar Chaplain. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna kill that one. That is my plan here. Before any shenanigans occurs, I'm gonna kill the Sunstar Chaplain here and pass. Wedgelight Rammer, what a start here for the opponent. Not cool, sir. Not cool. Okay, what do I want to do? I have Siege Ship Agrarian as an option, but I also have Close Encounter. It looks like they're going to want to turn this on. If I kill the 3/3, they can then move the counters onto the robot, which is not ideal. I think the plan here is to just, well, I can also play the Agrarian. It's such a better use of my mana. Yeah, I'm just playing the Agrarian. Like whatever. Like I'll take 3 damage in the air. It's not a big deal. And if they kill the Agrarian, they kill the Agrarian. That's also fine. They got back. Oh my gosh. What on earth is this draw? Alright, so they got their rare back out of their graveyard too, which is nuts. So if I block here, then they put counters on other things. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess we'll take all the damage. Yep. Oh man, this is so much damage. The thing is, since I can't double spell this turn, I'm just going to play the Debris Field Crusher. And I'm going to take 9 damage here. Jeez. Okay. I mean, this is what they said, right? Like, you gotta play to the board, and if not, then you're just gonna get totally run over. That is literally what's happening here. I'm at 4 life. I have a land here as an option. But the question is, what's my play, right? Like, I can close encounter. And play a 4/3? They have 2 cards. Yeah. Play a 4/3 and pass. And then obviously if they have any removal here, we're dead. I mean, it's not like we didn't play spells, right? Like we did. It just... That's a 5/5. Okay. And they... Ooh, that was amazing. Alright, so let's cast Orbital Plunge. Oh, that was incredible. Yeah. So now I'm at 2 life, though. That's a Territorial Bruntar. Okay. Now we get to get our Forest and try to slowly come back. The problem is they just played a 6/6. They just played a 6/6, so what do I even do? Like, whatever I play, it's just going to be a chump blocker here. Somehow they have the bigger creature than me in their red-white deck. I need to find my other orbital plunge, I suppose. Okay, never mind. They played Exalted Sunborn. Now. Alright, we lose. And we move on. I mean, look. They had just a significantly better deck than we did. They had really good uncommons. They curved out. That 2-mana rare seems really strong. And we just kind of ran out of removal. We were on the back foot as well. So, good deck to our opponent. But, like, when I lose to something like that, you're not even that concerned. It's like, yep, good beats, good deck, move on. Alrighty. Let's try this again. We're going to be on the play. We're going to have some things to play. Good. We're on the play and we have things to play. Everything I want to see. Forest, 2 mountains, Galactic Wafer, Scrapbot, bunch of interaction. Really like this hand. Honor Knight Captain, sure. We have a Galactic Wayfarer here that can block really well. Again, not having a 2-drop is rough. Like, it's so hard I'm gonna fully admit, though, it's really hard for me to make that adjustment. Of just taking, like, what I believe to be worse cards that are 2-drops. That's not something I have done in a bit, but yes, I kind of have to do that here. Alright, gonna kill the Webstalker Ardent here, and then sack the Lander. Orbital Plunge. Sure. Well, glad I attacked. Alright. Seed Ship Agrarian. 4 cards in hand for the opponent. The problem with the Dauntless Scrapbot is it just blocks very poorly. I'm going to play the Scrapbot. The thing is, if I do, they might just not attack with their things, right? Or they just hit me for 1, and I get to sack the Lander and just continue developing my mana. Alright, 5 lands. Melded Moxie. Okay. Doesn't seem like... I mean, it's always a fine card, but not particularly strong in like a Boros deck, I don't think. Alright, they hit me for 1. That's fine. They're just leaving up 3 mana here with 4 cards in hand in your Boros deck? Okay, Bright Spear Zealot, sure. Let's go with Mountain. Alright, let's go Agrarian. Land. And... pass, I suppose? Obviously, these are always much better with spaceships, spacecrafts, or the Pollinator, but... Oh, Reflecting Pool. I haven't seen that in a while. So it looks like they're a red-white... I mean, they're red... The thing is, this doesn't have to be an artifact deck, but when you have Moxite, they might be leaning into red-white artifacts just a little bit, at least. What on earth? I mean, they got 1 card left, right? So... it does kill my creature, though, and I'm officially out of action. So they're sacking the lander immediately. Okay. Alright, let's kill this. And I'm going to sack the lander, but I'm going to hold on to the land. Lightstall Inquisitor. Okay, we'll exile the land. But yeah, we are kind of out of action at this point, so... What is this? Needle Spires. Wow, that's actually good. And they made a 2/2. Okay. Let's get a mountain. I mean, we are playing a deck with a really high number of... creatures. This was obviously very good. Needle Spires is kind of annoying. It does make a double strike land. So that's going to hit me a lot, so I don't think I want to attack. I will hold on to the Orbital Plunge here, I think. Oh, wow, they chose not to activate the Needle Spires. Okay. And they attack with the tokens here. Okay, sure. Let's block here, block a 2/2. The reason why I'm doing this is they can just sack their Honored Knight Captain. So I'm just not going to do that right now. Alright, so that is a Territorial Bruntar, which I am most certainly going to play. So then I'll hold off on the land, I guess. Until next turn. Let's see what they do. They can sack the Honored Knight Captain to get an auxiliary thing. The 5-mana equipment card. If they kill the Bruntar, it's really, really bad for me. One card left. Like, I mean, we're both equally flooded here. That's a Night Luminary from the opponent, which is totally fine. They warped it in too, so it's not too bad for me. Now we get to play the land and get some value here. See what we hit. That is a Memorial Team Leader. I have access to 4, 8, 9 mana. Well, I'm certainly playing that. And I am certainly playing this. Alright. Getting lots and lots of value here. Do I want to attack here? I don't think so. I think I want to use this as a way to get card advantage. But I will attack with my Germinating Worm. Our opponent is also... I mean, we both have 10 lands in play. It's kind of ridiculous. Granted, I do have a... I had like 3 lander cards, so it's very different, I will say. It's a Germinating Worm. We do have an Orbital Plunge, which I could theoretically use to kill something. But I think I'm still just going to hold off on that. This is how much to activate? 5? I mean, like, the super greedy line is to, like, plot this, maybe? Go up to 14? Because I kind of want to be able to make... Let's see. Alright, let's warp it. Play for a little bit of a longer... I mean, just... This also lets me gain 4 life, and I can still just make this token. I mean, they're in a really tough spot here to come back anyways, especially because I have... I mean, this land was good, and I'm really happy that I was able to stabilize and turn it around. My opponent's draw was very bad, and we got a little bit flooded, but we had the Bruntar that got us out of it. Alright. 1-1. Gruul beatdowns. What do we got? Okay, opponent on the play. I don't have a 2-drop here, but I do have technically, I can play something on turn 2 with the Germinating Worm. Then I have a turn 3 Tanic. Blue, Worm Whale Sweeper, sure. Wow, they put Alpha Rail into the graveyard. Wow. So I guess, I mean, that always just tells me that they're light on lands, that they are most definitely looking for something here. There is the swamp. Oh, they just had multiple Alpha Rails? Sure. I mean, we do have the Orbital Plunge, so we do have the answer there if we can find land number 4. They discarded 2... Wait, what? Blue-black with 2 white cards. Okay. Not really sure what's happening here. So they're like a... They're like a blue-white deck splashing double Alpha Rail. Okay. And now they have all their colors. Good for you. Alright. 4 cards in hand for the opponent. Now I do have a couple of Orbital Plunges, which is very nice. Okay. So this lets you sack other creatures. And so the annoying part about this is I need to kill the Zealot first. Okay, that's a Starbreach Whale, that's fine. I need to kill the Zealot first, just because otherwise I don't get a lander. And because this has Death Touch on their turn, I'm just going to attack with the Tanic. But yeah, next turn is actually kind of interesting what I choose to do. I have a lot of different directions I can go. Now, if they do go land Whale, I probably just want to minimize the damage that I take and just kill off the Whale. They have 2 cards in hand. And I still get the lander there. I mean, it's always tempting to play the Agrarian and get as many counters on that as possible. But I do feel like it's probably better just to minimize the damage that I take. Because they're hitting me for a lot here. And honestly, we're not that far behind on the race either, especially the Germinating Worm gains us some life. It's not looking too bad. Ooh, Uthros Scanship, okay, with the Ilvoy, sure. Alright. So we definitely want to get to 6 lands here to get the Bruntar in play, because they are going big here with the Scanship. Alright, that is a Thawbringer and also a Bloom Stinger. So now they're going to be able to hit me for 6 in the air. Oh, that is brutal. So at that point, it's really important for me to be able to get the land for the Bruntar. I guess we keep that. And then, I guess I don't need to sack a lander anymore. So maybe we just play out both of these things. And I guess I have enough ground blockers here too. So I can attack. The thing is, either they're going to kill my thing and attack me with a bunch, I still have a blocker, or they're going to go to the skies. And I think it's very likely they go to the skies. Now, if they play double removal spell here, so be it. Alright, they did play their Splash Banishing Light. And if they find another spell here, then it's not good for me. And like I said, I'm doing this just because like I knew the 6 damage was coming in the air. And I tried everything I could to kind of keep things at bay. But here we are. Now I don't really have much of a choice here. I have to play the Bruntar. And if they have a way to kill the Bruntar, then I am dead. I mean, they certainly have a deck where if they... Like, obviously their deck is extremely disrespectful to the game of Magic. But if they get there, it's obviously... if they get there with the mana, then it's totally fine. You know what I mean? Alright, I'm at 2 life. I'm assuming I'm dead here, given what went on. Nope. What? Wow. Let's see what happens with this land. Galactic Wayfarer. Oh, this is so awkward. I'm just like milling myself. But I kind of feel like I want to get this worm in play. What is this? Okay, yeah. I'm getting this worm in play. Let's be real here. Do I want to attack for 8? Yeah, let's attack for 8. And then I'm going to sack this again to draw a card off Tannock. So now my opponent is at 1. I'm just, yeah, losing a spell, but I draw an extra card, and I have a Germinating Worm. If they had a pump spell, they would have used the last turn, and maybe we win this game. Woo! I mean, that was, like, that's certainly one of those moments where you're just like, all right, removal spell kills me. Removal spell kills me. You got it, you got it. And I was so sure that they had something there. Like an extra bounce spell, removal spell, one more flyer. There's so many things that killed me there. I am legitimately shocked that I won that game. But we'll take it, obviously. Opponent on the play. Hey, we got a 2-drop. This time around here, we got a Blooming Stinger on turn 2, followed by a Tannock on turn 3, with an Agrarian and a Close Encounter, so always happy with this. And no 2-drop from the opponent, so we get to actually play a fun game of Magic the Gathering. Opponent on some kind of a Golgari deck. Let's attack with our Death Toucher. Kind of want to sandbag my Starforge for now. And we did draw Galactic Wayfarer. If they had a counterspell or removal... Yeah, I'm going to play the Wayfarer first, I think. Like, if they have a removal spell or what have you. They had the worst one, because if I played a Tannock, it would have lived. And I guess they would have killed the Stinger then, but it is what it is. Wow, a 5/5 Fungal Colossus here. A 3-mana Fungal Colossus. That is certainly very, very strong. 4 cards in hand. But I do have a Death Toucher here, which is good. And... Yep, I'm going to play the Agrarian here. See where things go. So at least I'll be able to draw 1 card off of Tannock. Also, if they kill the Agrarian, then this will most likely stay in play. Oh, sure. Wait, what? Okay, these are a mix of cards that I didn't really expect. Let's play Tannock. Put a counter. I guess they have a fight spell here, or they have Close Encounter. Oh, no, they don't. Okay. Let's get a mountain. Put another counter on the Agrarian, and then I get to draw a card off of the Tannock, which is great. No attacks from us. Alright, lots of lands here, but hopefully we can find some more action. If I can find a way to get landers, I can draw cards off the Tannock. I have the Starforge at least, which lets me pump out a 2/2 every turn, and the Stinger keeps things at bay with the Fungal Colossus. Alright. What are you splashing there, friend? Steel Swarm Operator? What is happening? Why are all my opponents just playing full 3? I heard this was a fast format. People are just splashing 2-mana 1/1 flyers. I don't understand. All right. And it's paying off for them. It is paying off for them. Pinnacle kill ship. Yikes. Okay. And they killed my death touch creature. Sure. Alright, so they're gonna make a 7/7 flyer? Okay. I don't think I can beat that, honestly. Like, all I can do is make 2/2 tokens, that's it. Bombard? That doesn't quite get it done either. I gotta think about this. Yeah, like, I can try to draw an extra card, I just take so much damage if I do. Like, I can attack with this, just to make the lander to draw a card off of this. I think I just hope I draw the disenchant here. I mean, the issue with Bombard, I guess, is it just doesn't kill the biggest things here. So they're gonna... one card. They have 4 artifacts in play. So now it's for 3. Man, they attack with their 5/5 too? That's not good. And I can't activate this. Alright. Just keeping our life total high here. But we're gonna just die to flyers. What do you do? Okay. It's another way to make 2/2s. Okay, well, I don't think we were gonna beat this for the most part. I mean, I guess my deck doesn't have a lot of card draw. Like, I have mana sinks, but like, I'm just getting destroyed. Just by these like giant flyers. And it's not like Pinnacle Killship is a common, so it's not like... Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Alright, we'll... 2-2 start. Not the most ideal start. Let's take a look at my side. Like, do I have some other way to kill like a Pinnacle Killship? Maybe I'm not giving that card enough credit, especially when the games go longer. I have a Drill Too Deep, but I don't think that's a card I want to main deck. Nah, honestly, that it's just like my deck is weak to 7/7 specifically. I do have one disenchant, but typically red green is weak to 7/7s. All right, on the play here, gonna keep this. We got a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a Germinating Worm. We got this Cadveron that we can play turn 1, which hopefully will do something. All your creatures get +1/+0 in haste. That's pretty cool. Look, it's a tap land that gives you some value in the late game. It's always going to be a solid option. Oh, also very, very good with specifically warping in Germinating Worm, I will say. Oh, they had a removal spell? Sure. Gonna play Thawbringer. I'll keep the 5-drop, especially considering our hand. Okay. Let's attack. I mean, I'm not really interested in saddling this up or whatever. Invasive Maneuver, sure. We get to Surveil. I'll keep that land as well. And let's play a Scrapbot, and then we can station up the Scrapbot. Oh, it's nice that you can actually still tap this for mana. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's super cool. Our opponent just drafted red-black all removal. Fair enough. What do I want to do? It might just be the worm, I guess. Trooper is typically like the last card that you want to play. Let's see just how many more removal spells they got. You know what I mean? Alright, Close Encounter. You know what? I'm sick of your nonsense. I'm just gonna make a token. See what happens. Oh, I did mess up though. Oof. I messed up. This is just me not playing with the cards enough. No, I totally messed up. I should have just made it main phase and then station. Just like, didn't even think about that as a possibility. Let's see. At the beginning of your end step, you control. Okay, so hold on. So I can kill this. Play this. Play this. Station this. That is now online. Attack. And now I get to draw 2 cards? I'll discard my hand. Alright, alright. Card draw engine online. They have to kill the trooper. What can I sack? I can sack a land, okay. But I can't sack a land and also do this, so I'll probably just do the Secluded Starforge. Okay. Frontline War Wager. Got it. Okay. So. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's attack. Oh, I guess I could have given it Death Touch. Let's station this. Let's discard our hand. Draw 2 cards. Perfect. End of turn, I can still make a 2/2. And this is going to be really, really nice against just the red-black all removal deck. They can have landers right now. I just care about stats, I think, at this point. And I don't want them to have a 4/3 in play. Alright, Zookeeper Mechan, sure. Alright, let's make a 2-2. Oof. We got a lot of action. A lot of action. Let's kill you. Let's play you. Let's attack. They're at 4. I'll keep the Brontar over 2 random cards. Alright. Alright. Oh, we didn't get totally run over. Our opponent just had a bunch of removal spells and couldn't really develop their board. And you know what? I mean, honestly, like the station land, just having a free station is nice with a couple of our cards. And then obviously the colorless land that just makes 2/2s every turn is just a really good card to put in your decks. Like, my deck just puts a bunch of landers in play, puts a bunch of lands in play. So just like, there are matchups where that effect is really strong. Alright, opponent on the play here. Hey, you know, at least I have my 2-drop here. So I have 2 forests and a mountain with a Blooming Stinger, Close Encounter, Galactic Wayfarer, and the Dauntless Scrapbot. I like how the Scrapbot, which is like almost strictly worse than the Wayfarer, has worse stats at uncommon. I just find that funny. Like, this card is also legitimately great, and that's just a testament to how powerful the Galactic Wayfarer is. Humidian Terrabotanist, also a powerful magic card. I'll take 2. Okay. Fallbringer, sure. And what is that? Sammy's Curiosity, sure, okay. So now this is kind of interesting where I don't necessarily want to... now with these 2 creatures in play, I don't want to station anything up. I think I probably just play the Wayfarer here. And just pass. Okay, you throw Scanship. I mean, this is a very, very nice curve from the opponent. Because they can attack us for 4 in the air next turn. Very, very aggressive crewing, but I think that was the correct line for them. So this becomes a 4/4 flyer. So I'm going to play Thawbringer here. And basically my hope is that they make this 4/4 flyer, and I use the Thawbringer to use Close Encounter to kill the Scanship. So that's a Mechan Navigator. They're going to pump the Scanship, sure. And they can attack with the Thawbringer, and I will use that to... I will block the Thawbringer with my Wayfarer. But very good start and deck from the opponent here so far. Like, they're discarding Ice Cave Crashers. I am not in good shape here, friends. Germinating Worm. Okay, sure. Oh, alright, what do I want to do? I mean, first things first, probably just kill the flyer. Maybe I should have attacked first, honestly. Sure. Right, they're 19. I play a scrap bot. I guess there is the germinating worm coming in next turn, which is not ideal for the for blocks on my side. Alright, that's a germinating worm. Land wouldn't be terrible, I will say. Siege Ship Impact. That would have been more desirable earlier on. Huh. So that's a 5/5. They have 2 cards in hand. Alright. I think I'm kind of forced to taking the 5 this turn. Okay. I will block the Navigator. Not really interested in a Surveil. Given this pause, I think they have Biosynthetic Burst, but I could be wrong. Okay. Alright, so that's a land. Not entirely sure what they have here. It's a Cerebral Download, sure. I mean, this is not good at all here for us. If they find any way to kill my Agrarian, it is bad times. Now, if they have Biosynthetic Burst, it's bad, but I can't play around it. Like, I just have to take the damage, I think. Or if they have, like, whatever, a fight spell or something along those lines, that's also bad for me, of course. But I'm hoping that we get this trade here and I get to ramp. That would be ideal. Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, that was... There was no way that was not going to get us. It looks like they have Cryo Shatter. How come... A deck? Really? Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. But that happens when you play the lander decks, you know what I mean? I mean, we had, like, plenty of things to do on curve. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what went wrong here. They just got a little more value off of their cards, I think. God, that sucks. And the bad part is, like, they're still, like, not playing all their land drops, so I think they just have a lot of action. Yeah, I figured they had something like a Cryo Shatter. Clawbringer, okay. Well, that's a target for the Crusher. And this can chump block the worm, and hopefully we can grind through this. Like, I'm not playing around Bruntar or anything like that right now, I don't think. that wouldn't have mattered either. Let's try to kill Thawbringer. Okay. Let's play Tanic. Like, I need to get this to 12 to try to, like, make a bunch of tokens. And so the thought process here is if they kill my Thawbringer and they have another diplomatic relations in hand, so be it. That's so funny, because I'm just straight up dead here that they killed that. I'm at 4 life. What? Okay. I have no cards in hand either. Alright, Germinating Worm is good. Intrepid Tenderfoot, also good. You have another creature? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's gross. So this is basically a 6/6 flyer next turn. I mean, I'm just dead. But whatever. Like, all they'd have to do is pump the Tenderfoot twice. Oh, and the Genomorph Imago went off. Yeah. I can block. Yeah. That's. Yeah. I mean, just another kind of mediocre deck here. Like, not much to say, right? Like, I you know, this deck was fine, but what was I? I went 3-3, so it was okay, but you know, like, still trying to figure out what I need to do differently here. Green is definitely a strong color. And I want to think about kind of maybe some of the games that we won and then some of the games that we lost. In this particular instance, my opponent was able to also play things on curve, but they also just got a lot more value out of their cards. One thing that I noticed with this deck is that I did tend to run out of action a lot in the late game, and you know, that's kind of something that happens when you draft red-green. I don't know, am I just supposed to play more expensive cards? But it's weird because you have to balance having a good curve with also your expensive cards. Vault-Guard Trooper was a really nice way to make sure that I continue getting action in the late game. But obviously this works if I have Spacecrafts, which I had 2 copies of. We certainly had some number of filler, but our interaction suite was okay. Our curve wasn't the worst. Like, we didn't just get completely run over a lot of the time either. So I feel like the primary reason why we lost was sheerly just the power level of our deck. It just wasn't that strong. And for that reason, we lost. And, you know, these lands ended up being pretty decent. Now, I think Caveron is probably, like, Secluded Starforge is definitely very good, right? But this one, like, takes a lot more work to set up. And the payoff is not quite as strong. So, I don't know. I think if I had the choice between Caveron and, like, a good playable card, and even, like, a Zookeeper Mechan, I'm wondering if the Mechan is just a pick. Outside of that, I mean, again, I didn't play anything too crazy in this deck, so it's really hard to figure out what I could have done. Or, like, it's really hard to figure out kind of the learnings here outside of the fact that maybe I could have used some more cheap things. I did have the option to take a Pinnacle kill ship. Maybe that would have been helpful for me to kill big things. Like, I did lose to a big spacecraft. Perhaps when I'm drafting Gruul, I should still be looking to try to splash some other colors. When I look at what I have in the sideboard here, I have access to a Devastating Onslaught, which could have been nice, I guess, with some of these cards. Maybe a Sky Stinger is something I should consider a little more. And then there's also a card like the Survey Mechan. If, you know, maybe I'm supposed to, like, try playing this with an island and see if that works. But, I mean, it's not like any of these options were particularly powerful. I also think a really important common in a red-green land deck is the 4-mana 4/4 Trampler with landfall +1/+0, and I didn't pick up any copies of that. So, certainly that card is way, way better than a card like Memorial Team Leader, and I probably could have used a couple of more 2-drops to just try to curve out. I feel like I'm drafting these red-green decks a little bit too much on the slower end, but I didn't really see a lot of those cards either. And I just felt like we put together a functional deck, but not the most powerful one, and ended up with a 3-3 finish. But I think we are on the right track, but there's still a little bit more. There's still a need for more refinement with what I choose to do. I think we certainly lost to decks that I thought were weaker than ours, playing against various 3-color decks with very little to no fixing. But of course, we're also in Plat 4. But the fact that we still went 3-3 means that this deck definitely didn't go as smoothly as I could have hoped for. But you know what? We're going to keep on cracking away, figure out this format, and watch some more videos. I do watch other content creators as well to figure out how I can up my game. It's one of those things where, especially if I'm struggling, I definitely look to other places. So going to be watching a bunch of extra videos, go in the lab, if you will, and see if I can come out with better results in future draft videos. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you enjoyed this content and wanted to support this channel in a different way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That is patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out once again to all of the patrons. Also check out TCGplayer.com for all your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. They are the place to go to for booster boxes of Edge of Eternities, or if you wanted some singles for your standard, modern, pioneer, or even your commander decks, hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Last but not least, check out heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top of the line deck boxes, playmat, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, and more, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow.